I'm going to deliver my speech in 3, 2, 1. Under the OG said that the corruptor should pay back in several times. How about that this corruptor cannot pay back in a several times because as this is the big amount of money. Take for instance, when they do a corruption in a 1 million, so when this guy have to pay back in a 3 million. So how about when this corruption cannot do this payback, and they actually this is the likelihood to this corruption to lend the money, or they actually to this impactful to their family, and their family actually don't have any responsibility of this. And then after that, the actually goal of this case is not to get profit by do this several times, but the way is just to make the number of cases of corruption in Indonesia or in the world stop from the existing. And under opening opposition said that jail time is sufficient for the corruption, and then in the status quo right now, and the number of corruption keep increasingly year by year, and then actually by the ICW Indonesian Corruption Watch said that in 2020 there's a 62 billion loss of because of this corruption, and this is just like a big amount of money, and actually being in a jail is not appropriate, is not worth for this a big amount of corruption. But not only that, when but not only that, but in a jail actually that the corruptor feels safe. Why? Because of in Josihab had do the seduction to the Setia Novanto jail, and at there they Setia Novanto have many facilities that this guy actually have the private bathroom and have bedroom. So there is no deterrent effect when the corruptor go to the jail, and in the jail they do a good facility because of they still have the rest of money of their corruption. And this is actually that people can be brave to do this case again and again. And after that, and the under opening opposition also said that this it can be impactful and impoverish their family too. So this is just like in the status quo right now that it's better to sacrifice one family than a whole Indonesia, or this is just like the better way is just like we allow to do this in a family, then we sacrifice whole Indonesia. So we have to save whole Indonesia by this case. So it's better to save whole Indonesia than in this one family. And actually that the family automatically get the impact of this corruption, even though there is no this impoverished just like in a social life. So their family actually gets shamed by this. And then actually by this corruption, I said that the corruption can get a negative impact in many ways, just like in education ways, and in the rural area. And the rural area actually can build up many facilities. So in this status quo right now, that the corruption still exists and still get negative impact. So I can summarize that the corruptor actually don't even get the deterrent effect when the punishment is the only in the jail. So they actually don't be afraid to be in the jail, and they are afraid to be poor. And then the impoverished is the best way to solve this case. And then when in the status quo they are still comfort because of in the jail they can still play, they can still live, so there is no suffer at there. So this is like and another society can do this bravely. And then as we know in this time right now that there is the case like oil export that happened by our Dirjen Kemendak, and this is just like the example that our ministry, our part of ministry, it just can do this bravely, and it just can get the example to the society that actually this is can get negative impact to the society at that time. And let's take for instance, I take the example like we actually suffer to providing oil plant from the palm plantation because of the export is more than the Indonesian needs, and then make it expensive. So this just can make the welfare all of Indonesia, and then it can get suffer for a whole Indonesian society. And then it's better to give this impoverished because of the impact to the whole Indonesia. And then by the status quo, our punishment don't even get the deterrent effect. That this is the fact that. And then not only that, the case it just the come from the side of government. Take for instance, from the leader of DPR, Setia Novanto, or the leader of MK has do this corruption. So when we realize that when we apply that this impoverished to them, so this is just can get the example because of the society now this case the society now because of the corruption in the best position, so this is can be, get the example to other, and the other will get the deterrent effect, so they don't even have intention to do the corruption. So we have to know what is the goal of this. The goal of impoverished is not to violate to this humanity, but the goal is just to make the existing of the case, the corruption case in Indonesia stop by the existing, and then the goal is not to take a profit of the case, but the goal how to make it stop. And in this time right now, we have to save our society, we have to save our welfare in Indonesia. So without corruption, actually we can even be rich, we can even build many facility in the rural area, or even in a many purpose, like in educational purpose is better, and in a healthy purpose we can build up everything, we can build up human resources. So because of this is a number of cases is still getting higher, and then they still can be brave to do this because of the punishment they only in the jail. And this is just like a good thing when this house would improve the corruption, because of this can be a deterrent effect to other. Thank you.